They thought they knew me. That was the most dangerous mistake of all. To the Griffiths family, I was Ryan Wood, a quiet manager analyst in logistics, dependable, unremarkable, conveniently small. The kind of man you invite to dinner out of obligation, not pride. The kind you seat slightly away from the center, as if proximity to power were contagious. William Griffiths, my wife Natalia's father, once clapped my shoulder and said, almost kindly, "Ryan's good with numbers. Not leadership material, but solid." I smiled. I always smiled. Because what he didn't know, what none of them knew, was that every cargo route he praised, every liquidity gap he survived, every miracle recovery the board applauded, had my fingerprints on it. For 5 years, I had quietly acquired 49% of Griffiths Logistics Corporation, share by share, crisis by crisis, while the rest of the market fled. I did it at night, between flights, through entities designed to disappear behind numbers. I did it without applause, without my name ever appearing where it might invite curiosity. And I did it while loving Natalia. That part wasn't strategy. Natalia never asked me for more than honesty and presence. When I warned her early on, "Your family will never think I'm enough," she laughed softly and said, "Then it's a good thing I married you, not them." Some nights, when money felt tight, she'd whisper apologies for the life she thought she'd lost. That was when it hurt most. When she didn't know that her father's empire was standing on a foundation I'd built quietly beneath her feet. Once, after a family dinner heavy with polite contempt, she asked me, voice trembling, "Does it bother you, the way they look at you?" I told her the truth, just not all of it. Power doesn't always announce itself, I said. Sometimes it listens. She leaned into my chest then, trusted me, loved me, and I let her family keep underestimating me, because I needed to know something first. I needed to know who they were when they believed I was nobody. They thought I was surviving on scraps. They never asked who was holding the table together. And that illusion, carefully maintained for 5 long years, was about to shatter. Not with a scream, but with a check slid across a polished table. Natalia's parents hosted dinner the way generals host ceasefires, formal, controlled, designed to end something. The invitation wasn't a request. It was a summons dressed in silk. William sat at the head of the table, posture immaculate, authority rehearsed. The smile on my mother-in-law Sophia's face froze, fragile as glass. Natalia reached for my hand beneath the table. Her thumb traced a nervous circle on my knuckle. "Please," she whispered, almost inaudible. "If it gets strange." "It will," I said softly, "but I'm here." The first courses passed with polite fiction, shipping routes, philanthropy galas, the weather. Then William cleared his throat and slid a leather folder across the polished wood. "Ryan," he said, voice calm, practiced. "We decided to be direct." William handed me a large envelope. Inside lay an annulment agreement. On top of it, clipped neatly, a check for $340,000. Sophia spoke as if offering mercy. "Natalia gave up opportunities when she married you. We're correcting that." The room tilted. I felt Natalia stiffen, breath caught like a broken note. "You're asking him to leave me," she said, standing. Her chair scraped, loud, ugly. "You don't get to buy my marriage." William didn't look at her. He looked at me. "Take the money," he said. "Walk away clean. This is generous." I stared at the check. The numbers were precise. The insult, surgical. Every dollar on that paper existed because I kept his company afloat when lenders vanished, because I believed in a future he never thought I deserved to share. Natalia's eyes shone. "Ryan," she whispered, shaking. "Say something." I folded my napkin. My hands were steady. My chest wasn't. Before I respond, I said, meeting William's gaze, "I need to make a call." Sophia frowned. "Now?" "Yes," I said, "now." They priced my absence like an asset. They never considered the cost of being wrong. I took my iPhone out of my pocket and dialed my lawyer Marcus's number. The room went quiet the moment my attorney answered. I placed my phone on the table and pressed speaker. "Confirm ownership," I said. There was a pause, just long enough for William to smirk, certain this was theater. Then Marcus's voice cut through the room, precise, unshakable. NC Meridian Holdings currently owns 49% of Griffiths Logistics Corporation. Natalia sucked in a breath. William laughed once, short, dismissive. That's irrelevant. Whoever they are. And the beneficial owner, I said calmly, is me. Silence fell so hard it felt physical. 49% of it. Marcus continued, merciless in his clarity. At today's valuation, Mr. Wood's position is worth approximately $7.9 billion. With aligned minority shareholders, he holds effective control. Sophia's glass slipped from her fingers and shattered. No one moved to clean it. That's impossible, William whispered. His voice had lost its edge. You're a manager. I analyze logistics, I replied. Capital flows are logistics. Risk is logistics. Survival is logistics. Natalia stared at me as if the room had split open. You, all this time? Her voice cracked, not with greed, but hurt. You let them. I needed to know who they were, I said quietly, and who they'd be to you. William stood abruptly. You tricked us. I shook my head. You underestimated me. I turned back to the phone. Marcus, please explain how many of our recent expansions were funded. All major expansions over the last 5 years, he replied, including the Baltic Corridor recovery and the Pacific Fleet refinance. I met William's eyes. Every miracle you bragged about, that was my money. Quiet money. Natalia's tears finally fell, not from betrayal, but from understanding. So the check, I said, lifting it gently, was paid for by the man you were trying to erase. My phone buzzed, a calendar reminder I'd set months ago. Draft email, emergency board meeting. I hit send. Power doesn't shout when it arrives. It waits until silence has nowhere left to hide. The vote happened on a Monday morning under fluorescent lights that didn't care about legacy. 78%. That was the number that removed William Griffiths from the chair he'd worn for decades. No shouting, no drama. Just hands raised, signatures placed, and a man shrinking inside a suit that no longer fit his authority. He didn't look at me when the decision was announced. He looked at the table. Natalia sat beside me, fingers woven into mine so tightly they hurt. Not because she was afraid, but because something had finally broken, and something else was trying to breathe. On the drive home, the city passed in silence. You could have destroyed him, she said at last. Her voice trembled, not accusing, searching. Why didn't you? I kept my eyes on the road. Because winning isn't the same as ruining, I said. And because I didn't do any of this for revenge. She nodded, tears slipping free. You did it for truth. We kept our apartment, the chipped mug, the narrow balcony that barely fit 2 chairs. When I suggested moving, she shook her head fiercely. No, she said. This is where we were real. The company rebounded faster than analysts predicted. Professional leadership stabilized operations. Routes reopened. Trust returned. The numbers spoke without shouting. Then the letters came. First Sophia, then William. Apologies are strange things. Fragile, often selfish. But sometimes, rarely, they are honest because fear has burned everything else away. They asked for dinner. At our place, Natalia said before I could answer. No staff. No performance. That night, William stood in our small kitchen, hands shaking as he held a chipped glass. I taught my daughter to value power, he said, and she chose love instead. I punished her for that. Natalia cried then, quietly, completely. I didn't forgive him. I didn't need to. We started something better. Money can remove a crown, but only humility teaches someone how to stand without it. The world expected fireworks, headlines, lawsuits, a public reckoning that fed on spectacle. Instead, everything important happened quietly. 3 months after the vote, Griffiths Logistics was stronger than it had ever been. Lean leadership, transparent books, routes optimized not for ego, but survival. William remained, by choice, as an advisor. He spoke less, listened more. Power had finally taught him humility. Natalia and I changed nothing that mattered. Same apartment, same balcony, the same old teapot, and the same used car she refused to replace. One evening, she leaned against me, city lights blinking like restrained applause. "Do you ever regret it?" she asked. "Letting them think you were small?" I shook my head. If they'd known who I was, we would have never learned who they were. Her parents came for dinner every other week. No suits, no performances, just people learning how to be family without leverage. William once said, voice rough, "I mistook control for love. You never did." Natalia squeezed my hand. That was everything. The truth is this. I didn't win because I was rich. I won because I waited. They tried to buy my silence. Instead, they taught me the value of choosing integrity when no one is watching. And if you're listening this wondering whether being underestimated is a curse, it isn't. Sometimes, it's the greatest advantage you'll ever have. Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.